Check it out, everybody. This is Mr. Royce from Royce Media coming at you guys with another video. Just hopped off that live stream with Mr. Fantastic. Shout out to him for letting me up so I can do some babbling. And we're going to continue the babble here. How y'all doing tonight? Y'all good? I hope so. Was Tuesday. Yes, sir. It's Tuesday. And we knee deep into the work week. Tomorrow's hump day, which means the middle of the work week. 2 more days to Friday. So shout out to Friday. So yeah, we were talking about this puppy situation and basically speculating on what happened and what's going to happen next. And I I I got a feeling it's going to be in the news for a while. And the case against Puffy is going to last a few years. So with that being said, let's move over to the topic of this video. And this video is about the second attempt on former President Trump's life. As we know, I think it was yesterday, someone attempted to assassinate President Trump while he was out at a golf game at his golf course down in West Palm Beach, and this person was spotted by the Secret Service, and they took action, gave chase, and eventually caught this guy. So shout out to the Secret Service for getting the job done. And shout out to the local law enforcement that also participated in the capture of that suspect. And y'all, I don't know if y'all can see the shirt, but in honor of Trump surviving the second attempt, I got my Trump shirt on, got my Trump hat on. So we are going to be repping Trump. We're going to talk about this situation, and I'm going to give my thoughts on the whole situation. You know, this is the second attempt on Trump's life within a 6-month period. I want to say really 2 months. And I'm starting to think very seriously that this might be an inside job. You know what I'm saying? This indeed might be an inside job. So for a presidential candidate such as Trump, former presidential candidate, um, with Secret Service protection, his movements, the majority of his movements are not disclosed for public information. For a second attempt on his life, it almost seems to me that somebody on the inside is feeding information to to these ne'er do wells, and I think President Trump needs to start looking at the people around him more closely, because that was too close. That was too close for comfort, in my opinion. You know, the first one, okay, I kind of see, you know, at a campaign rally, it's a lot of people from a lot of places that are at the rally and stuff. So yeah, some weirdo might take a chance to do something stupid, but this guy being able to um know that he's going to be at his at his golf course playing golf, and was able to set up hours before he got there, and was waiting on an opportunity to try to take him out. I'm starting to think that this may be an inside job. You know, what up, Cortez? How you feeling tonight, brother? Hey, I'm glad you could join, man. Glad you're here. I appreciate you. Yeah, man. I think this might be an inside job, man. You know, Like I said, one time I can see, two times, he's got some enemies real close to him, and something needs to be done by about that. Um, Information could be coming from White House sources, something like that. Uh, I have an issue with that, man. I have an issue with that. They're trying to get this guy because they're afraid of him. They're afraid that this guy's going to become president again, and he's already said he's really going to drain the swamp, and he's really, he talked about possibly disclosing what's on that Epstein list. There's a lot of people that don't want that information to get out. That's why I don't believe Epstein deleted himself. Cortez Smith says, yeah, two times is crazy. Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. Yeah, it looks real fishy to me, man. You know, this guy, like I said, he's a former president. He's a presidential candidate. He's a billionaire. He ideally has a lot of people around him to protect to protect him because it protects their interests. And you know, I would like to think he has a pretty robust intelligence team. People like that, they have people who go out and that find out information for them and different things. So any for somebody to get that close to him, I think it's somebody around him that's talking. Cortez Smith says, I don't believe most of the people in Hollywood politics deleted themselves. I think they were deleted. I tend to agree. I tend to agree. You see certain stuff and it's like, I don't know, man. And I tell you, most of these cases are investigated by local law enforcement. Hold on, I gotta close this door. Yeah, sorry about that. I had to close the door. Um, I don't think that getting back to what I was saying about local law enforcement, I don't think local law enforcement always does a good job in investigating um certain cases, especially if it looks like um a self-deletion. I think a lot of cases aren't looked at as closely as they should be. And so a lot of times if you do find out that there was something nefarious at play, you don't find out until years, decades from when the event happened. So, I'm very suspicious of a lot of those self deletions and even a lot of the deletions by the people, even a lot of the homicide cases. You know, I I think I think a lot of I think some things are overlooked, and this is why we have groups like Project Innocence because we've seen cases be fumbled, in one way or the other. So yeah, man, um I think a lot of those cases may need a closer look. I think deeper look behind the curtain needs to be taken. Um, Getting back to the Trump situation, I wonder what it is that what it is they're really trying to stop this man from doing because we've already had 4 years of President Trump. We know what he's going to do. Trump is very open about what he's going to do. he can't stop talking about himself and what he's going to do and what he has done. So um, there's not a whole lot of secrets when it comes to how he conducts or how he would conduct the presidency. So you pretty much know what you're going to get um, as far as it comes with him. But I think there are some people that are very afraid, not because he's going to be a threat to democracy. I think there are a lot of powerful people afraid that he is going to expose them and bring them in front of the court and in front of the people and say, look, look at what you did. Now I know what you did. Now everybody else knows. And people don't want to get exposed. Very powerful people don't want to get exposed. Because you got to remember, Trump has been a very public person for, from what I know, of the last 3 decades. I've been knowing about Trump, I want to say, since I was 20 years old. You know, he's very active in New York. He was very active in New York City. He's very active in the real estate business. He's very active in show business. He's a very, very publicly exposed person. So um, and he's been in a lot of different rooms and he's seen a lot of different people, and he wants a Democrat, and so he knows these people. You know, Trump is a money guy. People want to know the money guy. The money guy usually knows a lot of people. You know, Trump knows a lot of people. He's heard a lot of stuff. He's seen a lot of stuff, and some of that stuff people don't want the rest of us to know about. So I think that's why they're after this guy. You know, I don't think these people that attempted to assassinate him, I don't think they were acting alone. I think at some point someone else was involved. Who that someone is, I don't know. But I don't think these people were lone actors. So yeah, man. It'll be interesting to see what comes out about about these situations weeks from now, months from now, years from now. Um, it'll be interesting, man. I know a lot of content creators on YouTube are talking about this and making their speculations, and I'm doing the same. Um, that being said, we only have very small pieces of the puzzle, and I would like to see more of those pieces come out. But if they do come out, it's going to take time. We're not going to find out all of this stuff immediately, you know. So it'll be interesting to see the developments as time goes on. So yeah, man, this is wild. You know that I want to veer off for a second and talk about this situation in Springfield, Ohio. During that debate, that joke of a debate that Trump did with Vice President Harris, I want to say last week, Trump mentioned people, immigrants eating the cats and dogs in Springfield, Ohio, namely the Haitians. And you have people on the Democratic side, or people that are against Trump, saying, "Oh, this is not happening." As a person who is of Caribbean descent, as a person who has grown up around different Caribbean groups, I'll tell you something to that story, man. It's something to that story. Straight up, you know. And it's not saying that all of the immigrants, the Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, are participating in eating the cats and dogs and geese and what have you. Um, But I'll tell you, this is not the first time I've heard of this. I've heard of this years ago. Years ago. When I say years, I'm talking like 20, 30 years. You know, I'm an old man. So, you know, I've been around a while. I've been in a lot of different places, met a lot of different people. And this talk about the Haitians this is not the first time I heard it. Not at all. Um, you know, you got to remember that they are people, and people will do anything out of survival, and to be able to eat and feed themselves. And I don't think it's that far of a stretch that uh, house pets are being attacked, and the Canadian geese. I mean, you know, people do eat geese. They eat geese in Canada. Um, People eat geese here in the U.S. People eat geese in other parts of the world. So that isn't far fetched at all. We've even seen people in different countries eat cats and dogs and other animals we don't consume in the United States. So for people to come from other countries where that may be done, it's not that far fetched of an idea, to tell you the truth. And again, let's not say that this is a common practice among Haitians, um, or any other group, um, but it has happened. You know, I was in a foreign country where they sold and ate dog meat. You know, so yeah, that's not far fetched at all. They weren't Haitians. They were another group, but you know, in their markets, they dog meat was on the menu. You know, and so it is what it is, with that situation. So I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you guys. As time goes on, like with all things, we'll find out more information. Um, I think it's more than a campaign ruse. I mean, the with the strength that is spread, it may be a campaign ruse. But you know, somewhere in that roost is the truth. And like I said before, I've seen and heard of instances years before of that being the case, you know, for different reasons. So, you know, if that is indeed happening, I wouldn't be surprised. So Cortez Smith says, is the animal thing people are talking about related to the woman in Ohio? Um, That's a good question. I don't know if that woman was in Ohio. From what I heard, and I can't confirm this, from what I heard, she wasn't Haitian. From what I heard, she was FBA, and this was a woman that was experiencing mental difficulties. And so, whatever was going on inside her head, apparently drove her to allegedly eat a cat, you know, live. So, um, Cortez Smith says, I thought people were saying she was Haitian. I heard some people say she was Haitian. Then I heard some people say she wasn't Haitian. Um, I don't know. She didn't have a Haitian based name, but that means nothing because you got people over there on the Isle of Hispaniola that have names like FBAs. So that name really doesn't mean a whole lot. But I haven't heard anything to confirm or refute that claim. Cortez Smith says, if this is what people are talking about, she wasn't Haitian. Um, yeah, see, yeah, I heard she wasn't Haitian. But I can't confirm it. Like I said before, I can't confirm it, so I don't know. But Ted Smith says I saw the video when it first went viral, but sister sounded like a regular Keisha. Okay, yeah. So that's that's what I heard as well. I saw a short video clip when the police encountered her, Um, and she wasn't talking on the clip that I saw. But I'll tell you something. With like somebody, you take a second generation Haitian. It's a bunch of them running around here in Florida, and if you didn't, if they didn't tell you they were Haitian, you wouldn't know. Kodak Black, prime example. He's a Haitian American. Um, but you wouldn't know he was Haitian unless he, until he said something. He said something about his Haitian descent, and that's how you knew. You look at a boxer like Errol Spence. That first thing, Errol, in my opinion, gives it away because FBAs don't name their kids Errol. That's definitely a Caribbean sign in my opinion, but he's Jamaican, but you wouldn't know Errol Spence was Jamaican. I didn't know he was Jamaican until I saw a video, a pre-fight video, and where he spent time in Jamaica talking about he was getting back to his roots in Jamaica, and that he is of Jamaican descent. So I'm of Honduran, Belizean, and Puerto Rican descent. You wouldn't know that unless I told you or you met some of my family from those places, you know. So because I was raised in the States, so I was born and raised in the States, so you wouldn't know. And this is pretty common with most, um, especially most Afro-Caribbean people. You tend, lots of times you don't have a whole lot of signs that this person is actually of Caribbean descent, same thing with some Africans, a lot of times you really can't tell unless they tell you. So what I will tell you about the cat lady, Cortez, they got it out of the mainstream media. They got that story out quick. That story went away quick. They really didn't want to push that one too much. For whatever reason. I have my suspicions, but that's something they really didn't want to talk too much about, because whatever group she belongs to, it's not a good look, especially during this time in the US with this election coming up and stuff. It's really not a good look. People eat, speaking of people eating strange stuff, I saw a video today, man, of this guy who came up with a way to chicken fry watermelon and made grape Kool-Aid, a grape Kool-Aid syrup for the chicken fried watermelon. And he was a black guy. That was a terrible look. That was a terrible look. I was like, oh my God. No, this dude, it's like nobody told this dude, hey man, don't do that. Definitely don't put it on social media. Yeah, this guy made a video, made a TikTok video, and it was hella embarrassing. It was it was wild. I was like, come on, bro. Really? Yeah. Yeah, it was a hot mess, man. So let me tell y'all something, man. After this election is over, no matter who wins, it's going to be crazy in these United States. Prepare yourself for the amount of insanity that's going to come after this election is over. It doesn't matter who gets in the office. People are they're going to be spazzing out. It's crazy. Cortez Smith says, I saw a video of a dude grilling a watermelon. Yeah, I saw that too, man. And I, wow, yeah, man. I saw another video of girl making uh like barbecue chicken, watermelon barbecue chicken or something. Man, these people are crazy. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. And definitely just because you can film it and post it on social media doesn't mean that that's a good idea to do. Man, it's one thing if somebody catch you doing something and they film it and they post it, okay, they got you. That's one thing. But for you to voluntarily do something that looks ridiculous to film it and then post it, yeah, yeah, you need to be checked into a hospital. And you know, I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you. Getting back to that debate between Harris and Trump, it's coming out that um, there's possibly some foul play when it came to how that interview was done. I mean, really, if you looked at the interview, um, it was really a 3-on-1 situation where you had the two moderators and the network against Trump, and Kamala Harris is like 4-on-1, and and to me, what it says, and it also has been alleged that one of the moderators was actually a sorority sister of Kamala Harris, which, if that's the case, I wouldn't be surprised. These Black Greeks have managed to maneuver themselves into a lot of different positions, and they use their influence to do things. This is the power of networking, and like I said, it's alleged that the female moderator was a sorority sister of Harris, which, if that's the case, in my opinion, she needs to be fired. That's a really bad look for ABC. It has also been alleged that um, Vice President Harris also had an earpiece on that was shaped like a pearl earring, but was really an earpiece to feed her information. Which it could be possible. I don't know. I don't have a way to confirm or refute that, but it's definitely possible. I tell you this much, and I talked about this before a few days ago. She came in like a prosecutor, very rehearsed, and said her points. It has also been alleged that she was fed sample questions um, before the debate, um, as far back as 2 months ago. And so, that being the case, that would also conceivably give her an unfair advantage. And I tell you this much: if you look at this interview she just did, as opposed to the debate against Trump, I definitely didn't see any consistency. And I noticed she never answers questions directly, if at all. She's asked about, what is she going to do for small businesses, and she goes off into how much she loves small businesses and somebody she do small business. It's like she regurgitated the same answer um, for the interview that she said for the debate, and never really answered the question directly, which I personally have a problem with, because the questions the question was put in a um, it was put in a way to where a concise answer on the initial answer would have sufficed, and then you can go into explaining why you gave that answer, which she didn't do at all. She didn't do that any of the times she was asked the question. So I've got an issue with that. She just went into Kamala Babble. You know, my mother had a friend that helped raise us, and she had a small business, and blah blah blah. And listen, I do not want 4 years of this. I do not want 4 more years of her giving the State of the Union address, rambling and talking nonsense and that goofy cackle she does. It will be a nightmare if she wins the election and becomes the president of the United States. You know, I tell you, there is nothing like networking and beg, borrowing, and stealing to make your way to the top. You know, there was a thing we talked about in the military of people being promoted out of a position to keep from messing it up. Um, I think this has happened a lot with Kamala. Um, and I think it is very possible that this country is going to make the mistake of promoting her to the position of president to where that's her ceiling and we got to deal with her. It's going to be a nightmare. Like I said, we know what we're going to get out of Trump's presidency. Tax cuts, different things like that, rate cuts, so forth and so on. Stuff I'm with. I'm with it. You know, with Kamala, I think we're going to get more taxes, higher taxes, more money being sent out of this country to other places for stuff that don't have anything to do with the average working person. I think it's going to be a mess, you know, and I don't want to see that for us. You know, I don't want to see a leader that um, other world leaders are going to have outward disdain for. I say what you want about Trump. Other world leaders did not mess around with that guy. They were very careful how they talked to him and how they dealt with him, and they were mindful of not getting on his bad side. I don't see that with Harris. You know, um, one of the things I'm very critical of her about is her taking the rainbow agenda to Africa, when that's not what Africans need. What Africans need is infrastructure. This is what they've been asking for decades. Help with their infrastructure, help with their commerce. How is two people of the same sex getting together and disco dancing or whatever they do? How's that going to help them? It doesn't help educate the kids. It doesn't help um, develop people in the STEM field. It doesn't help make buildings and roads. It doesn't help. Um, it doesn't help agriculture. It doesn't help mining. It doesn't do any of that. So I don't understand. I don't understand the whole point of her going over there with that nonsense. Cortez Smith says, I hear a lot of men saying that they made the most money under Trump. I am one of those guys. I was able to save a lot of money when Trump was in office. It was great. I, man, I did very well under Trump. I did well better under Trump than I did under Bush. And I was able to put away a lot of money under Bush, man. A lot of opportunities opened up for me. I was able to do a lot of stuff. Um, and every time a Democrat gets in office, all that money goes away. All that money goes away, you know. Cortez Smith says, I believe it's a part of the NWO. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it, man. I wouldn't doubt it, man. There's a reason they are pushing certain agendas under the banner of globalism that the stuff that I see is unnecessary and counterproductive. They have their reasons, and I don't think their reasons jive with the average working American, U.S. citizen, and really doesn't jive well with the people of other countries. You know, this war in Ukraine, it's not good for the Ukrainians. It's not good for the Russians, and it's not good for the U.S. because of all of the money we're dishing out. It's not good for the people in the countries around both countries. Um, I don't, I and I don't think that the current leadership can do anything to make me see otherwise. Cortez Smith says America already destroyed Nigeria with this, and they're trying to get the rest of Africa, then other continents. Yeah, I believe so. I tend to agree, man. That was one of my biggest criticisms of Obama was that he should have picked up where George Bush left off and really solidified good relationships with Africa, in particular countries like Kenya, and where he has ancestral roots, and places like Nigeria, because pretty much how Nigeria goes, the rest of Africa goes. Um, Places like Uganda, Gambia, stuff like that. Um, I think Obama should really did a whole lot more to forge better relationships between the U.S. and those African countries, because Africa has everything over there we need. Has everything we need: land, resources, water, ports, and the Africans want help with that stuff. They ain't doing a good job managing it. I think it would have been a great opportunity for the U.S. to get in there and to help them manage it and to form and foster strong relations with those countries so that we can have access to the stuff over there we need. Even when you talk people, you have a lot of um well educated, well trained Africans and stuff we need. Doctors, engineers, stuff like that. Would have been great, you know? But instead we wanted to take same sexualism over there. That's crazy. That's way out, man. You notice we're not going over there to Russia with that nonsense. We're not going over to China with that nonsense. We're not going over to India with that nonsense. Why Africa? Why the need to bring same sexualism over to Africa? It doesn't make sense. I really think it's ridiculous, and it's a waste of time, and it's really counterproductive. You know, they never said why they're pushing the rainbow in Africa. Yeah, they have never given a definitive position. They say some stuff like, "Oh, it's about human rights." How are you going to enforce human rights in another country? If they don't want something, then that's the end of the conversation. You know yeah, that didn't make sense to me, Cortez. They only took it to Africa and South America, to my knowledge. Uh, all I got to say is population control, because um, our homosexuals don't have children. They can't have children. You got to have heterosexual relationships to have children. You know, And I think what the United States is practicing, well, I think what the left in the United States is practicing, and the people that lead the left, they're practicing population control. The things that they're pushing tend not to produce children. It indoctrinates the children that are already here, but it doesn't foster the creation of new children, you know? So Cortez Smith says, that was my first thought, population control, especially for the melanated. Yeah, it's hard to argue. It's hard to disagree. I think that that is a big component, and it's scary, you know. Um, I don't the whole thing with population control. Why do you want less people other than to be able to control people easier because you have less people to control? When you have fewer people to resist your agenda, it's easier to push your agenda. And I think that's a big part of it, man. So yeah, I got an issue with it, man. Big time, you know. And this stuff is being pushed, like Cortez was saying, among melanated people, man. You know, it's like they're trying to further reduce the population of melanated people here, definitely here in the United States, and over in other countries, over in other countries such as African countries and South American countries, because you have a lot of black people. You have a lot of what we call black people. They're Brazilians. They're not FBAs, and they're FBAs of their country. But you have a lot of them. The largest population of Africans outside of Africa is in Brazil, in South America. Cortez Smith says, yeah, maybe less people are easy to control. Yeah, I think so, bro. Cortez Smith says, LOL. You said it as I was typing it. Yeah, man, we're on the same page with this, bro. And the women buy into it without questioning. Yeah, they want to go along to get along, even when the go along is not the way to go. You know, we should be having more we should be making more uh we should be having more babies in the US. You know, we should Africans should be having more people. The thing you want to push in Africa is education and skills training. You know, you want to teach the people to be able to farm the lands that they have, to be able to mine the resources that they have and stuff. That's the stuff you want to do, you know, not having disco dancing and having 46 genders and delete babies and stuff. You know, it's a mess. It's a mess. And the women buy into it without question. Well, see, this is what we're seeing in the U.S. Women are buying into stuff and going along with stuff that, you know, it doesn't take long for them to come to the realization, hey, this is not really working. You know, the abortion procedure, you know, tears their body up to the point to where when they want to have children, it's more difficult to have children. The chemicals that they're putting in their bodies are destroying their reproductive systems. The abortion procedures are tearing up their reproductive systems. Um, you know, it's not good. And then some of the other stuff they're pushing, you know, we saw what happened at the Olympics. You had some guys with extra chromosomes knocking the sonic rings out of chicks in the boxing. You know, and one girl got hit, man. She was done. She was like, "Oh no, I quit, man. I ain't." She had never been hit that hard in her life. You know, because you know, men traditionally, when it comes to violence, especially in Western countries, we tend to take it very easy on women when it comes to acts of violence or contact sports. I'll put it that way. We take it easy. We kind of let them, we try not to destroy them when it comes to contact and combat sports. Um, now they want to get in there with these guys that are claiming to be women, and these guys are, man, they ain't taking it easy on them. They giving them the whole clip. Man, they hit them with the whole clip, man. And it's, hey, I don't even feel bad for them because they signed up for it. You know, they signed up for it. Cortez Smith says, I think the reason they program women to dislike men so that they can get women to follow propaganda without listening to men. Because men push back and men will resort to violence to push back. Men don't have a problem going to war. You know, men have no problem with facing other men in war and deleting each other to prove a point. you know, you give them a mission, somebody got to go. Cortez Smith said, "Yep, that's why all these weirdos are wearing these nose rings and weird hair." Yes, sir. Cortez Smith also says, and the media is trying to say that the thing was born female. Yeah, yeah, man. It's a mess, man. And like I said, women have signed up for it, so I don't feel all that sorry for them. Hey, this is what you wanted, so now guess what? You're gonna deal with the consequences of what you wanted. That's the trade-off. So hey, it is what it is. You don't like how you don't like how it's turning out, then you need to rethink your decisions. That's what I say. Yeah, man. Yeah. But yeah, man. It don't seem like I'm gonna get any other people in here, man. I appreciate you coming out, Cortez. I'm gonna shut this down. I'll be back tomorrow to babble some more. I'm not sure what time, but I will schedule another live and I'll come back and run my mouth some more, man. I appreciate you. This is Mr. Royce J. Royce Media. Like, share, and subscribe. Get in the comment section. Hit even if you don't like it, put a thumbs down. Um, just interact and let me know what you think. And if you have any show topics, hit me on my email. My email is in the description of this channel, or send me a Facebook message on Facebook. I'm on Facebook. Uh, got a Facebook channel, so hit me a messenger with the show idea, and if it's something I can't talk about, I will talk about. Other than that, be safe out there, brother, and I appreciate you coming, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.